Welcome to Community News and Review, recorded live at Alpine Jaguar in Fort Lauderdale. I'm Philip Bell, your host, along with Lon Smith. The cornerstone of any thriving community are religious centers. Today, we're very pleased to have on our broadcast from Shabbat Lauderdale by the Sea, Rabbi Benzon Singer. Do you remember when, if you were in business, and you didn't have a website, you're not taken seriously. You're not established. Now it is the same about apps. Because apps are revolutionizing the way people are doing business today, giving us the 411 on apps is CEO and founder of NPS Apps, Alan Kopelman, whose company down here in Florida is actually the leading developer of apps. Community News and Review has reported on new products and technologies throughout the years. And we're focusing on engine treatments, and today giving us an update on the new technology that's really revolutionizing the industry. And it not only protects the engine, saves gas, but listen to this, cuts greenhouse gases. How is it cooler than that? And, of course, it is an investment, not a cost to running your car. And we're talking about Synogen from Best Tech Brands founder Jim Scott. Also, updating us on what's going on with Jaguar, Alpine Jaguar, and their tremendous community outreach. They're all over the place, donating cars. Matter of fact, last week we reported on a golf outing for a charity that actually, if you get a hole-in-one on one of the par threes, you get a 3-year lease.
Isn't that great?
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Yes.
The problem is, Lon, is that I asked you if it would be okay if you distract them while I'm shooting, you know. We'll just toss it right in there. They won't know. I'll share the car with you.
I'll go yell around and distract them, and you.
That's right. Anyway, this year, Gateway Community Outreach is also celebrating its 20 years. I mean, 20 years. And that's economic hunger relief assistance to the community. My goodness. They have helped over 790,000 families pay their mortgage and rent, but not just once. Not as, hey, okay, we're going to help you once, go try to figure it out, up to 17 months. They also give them food. They also teach them fiscal responsibility and help them stay on their feet and sufficient. It's a wonderful thing, but listen to this. It's called the 20 for 20 Charity Golf Tournament. It's going to be a great golf and networking. They're even looking now for certain sponsors for holes, but it's all just about filled up for that. I'm very pleased. And it's going to be on July 25th, and it's at the Heron Bay Golf Club, a great club, Lon, let me tell you.
Yes, it is.
It is challenging. And maybe, I know Damien is listening from Alpine, maybe I could talk him into donating one of those 3-year leases for that type of situation. It's good for the organization, and, hey, gets Alpine's name out there in a big way.
Yes, it does.
But if you have any questions, you can go to, matter of fact, you could call 954-725-8434. And, of course, you could check out on the website. It's very simple. It's GCOFlorida.org. And that you can find more additional information. Lon, I do plan on making my way out there.
Okay.
And being in great support with them. We really have an outstanding show. And, but before I start this show, even though this program is broadcast from next Wednesday, just after the 4th, actually, Wednesday following the 4th, I'd like to lead if you will, do the Pledge of Allegiance before we open up the program. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. What a beautiful, beautiful statement.
It's fantastic.
It is. It absolutely is. It's short, sweet, to the point. And there's been a lot of changes within that we may talk about if we do have the time. But one nation under God is a beautiful thing. And, again, the cornerstone of any thriving community is its religious centers. And I'd like to, first of all, to say a very warm welcome to a good friend and also a great leader himself, Rabbi Singer. Good evening.
Good evening.
Appreciate you coming in and taking the time to educate our audience. You have a
Thank you for having me.
Well, I appreciate you again. You have a thriving center there. And it's located in Lauderdale by the Sea, correct?
Yes.
And let me ask you, before we even continue, how did you open this center? I mean, how long has it been open so far?
We've been open in Lauderdale by the Sea for 5 years now. And thank God from when we opened our doors, people haven't stopped coming in.
Excellent. Great.
You know, when you first came in my life was regarding a host of issues. Matter of fact, it was funny because we were at I guess a strip mall, and a person I was helping run for Lauderdale by the Sea's city council, who's a fine attorney, Eric Yankovic. He's been on our programs, both the legal show and community show. And all of a sudden he disappeared, and I wondered where the heck is he. You know, I'm a little concerned, and I finally get him on the phone. He says, "Hi, I'm with Rabbi Singer. You need to come. We need another for a minyan."
Yes.
And that's
I
how,
remember that
yeah.
Shabbos, that Saturday, very vividly.
And that's actually how we met. And I was very impressed with the mixture within your congregation, young and old. And you were just very dynamic. It really was quite enjoyable, educational, and us actually entertaining. And it was great afterwards because the food was incredible, you know. So I thank you, and thank your lovely
The
wife.
thanks goes to my wife for the food.
I was going to say. But how did the center Shabbat Lauderdale by the Sea actually start?
Great question. My wife and I met in New York. We got married in New York. We were living in New York for a couple of years.
Right.
Ultimately, we knew we wanted to open up a Chabad Jewish center. For the audience who may not be aware or familiar, Chabad is a movement, a Jewish movement, an educational movement which reaches out to Jews from all backgrounds and caters to them in any possible manner,
Right.
given the needs of the specific community. And we were looking for a particular community where we could develop and to grow. And Lauderdale by the Sea came up on the table. We looked into it. And what could be better place than Lauderdale by the Sea? And thank God, ever since we moved down here, we've been having wonderful programs, events, services, where we service the local community of Lauderdale by the Sea, East Pompano Beach, as well as the many tourists and visitors who frequent our area, specifically in the winter months during the season.
Sure. But what year? When did this actually? When did you establish it?
We opened up our center 5 years ago.
5 years.
So we've been there for 5 years now.
2010.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a difficult time for anything to open up. But what I like about your, if you will, your organization is that you have a good mixture of the young and old. Well, you have established, mature members. You attract also the younger crowd. Yourself, how old are you?
I am 33 years old.
Oh, my goodness. You're still a kid. I'm
Thank you.
54 last month.
You're 54 years young.
That's right.
It's all in the mind.
If you want to hang out with, if you want to be young, you hang out with old people like me. You're young to me. I think I have boots as old as you, my friend. But in all seriousness, I met your wife and your wonderful child. I cannot remember her name.
Rachel.
Rachel, yes. That's a real handful, let me tell you. She gets around.
Thank God.
But getting into, I mean, you always have something going on. You talk about education. This is an education. It's not a political type of an organization. You know, the donations go towards the help and outreach for education.
Yes.
And all is welcome. For those that are not Jewish, you are absolutely welcome to come and experience and be educated. And that is a beautiful thing. Now, I mean, you have so much dynamic things. I guess on Wednesday nights at 7:30, you have sushi and study.
Yes.
Yeah, sign me up, sushi. I didn't know sushi could be kosher. What's with that, Rabbi?
Why not? As long as it's from a kosher establishment.
You're double feeding them.
Yep.
Body and soul, that's correct.
Right,
Yes, it's actually one of the most more attended programs, I may say, in our Chabad Jewish Center is the classes. We place a great emphasis on adult education, on classes, study. Our weekly classes attract a broad spectrum from the community, young and old, as you mentioned. And from
as a matter of fact, I have your newsletter here, and it's kind of answering my question. I guess I have to show up to really understand it. The question is, why don't fish need, and this is pronounced?
Shechita.
Shechita, that's right.
Yes.
In other words,
that's
like beef. Yeah.
That's from our weekly email, yes.
Yeah, that is a good question. I wonder about that. And I guess the answer is I have to attend the class?
Exactly.
Great
Tricky,
promoter.
tricky.
That's true.
So we do have our weekly classes which are culled from the Torah,
Mm-hmm.
and they are challenging um, for the mind.
Right.
We attract people from all backgrounds to the classes. We have different programs that you recall yourself. I believe you attended. We
Sure.
hosted Anne Frank's stepsister,
Oh,
Mrs.
yes,
Eva
we're-
Schloss,
Yes.
which was a great program at the hotel down in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, that's actually how we really first started to
Yes.
know each other.
Correct.
Mike Wolf, my former co-host, don't get nervous, Lon. My former co-host, Mike Wolf, the news anchor of WIOD, actually hosted it. Did
He
like
hosted
Phil
the
Donahue.
event
You had 300-400 people there.
at the
And do you
hotel.
know, Rabbi, she still has that number on her arm,
Yes.
that tattoo from being in the concentration camp as well.
We had recently we had a former general from the IDF who took part in the raid on Entebbe,
Wow.
who shared with us behind the scenes the story of the actual raid, what went into it, which was a fascinating evening, which attracted a large number of people as well. So we, in addition to the ongoing programs, we have many special events which we promote.
Sure.
To the ongoing holiday events. A highlight is always the Hanukkah.
That's just it. That's just it. There's always something going on, you know, and a lot of it is free, Lon. You know, a lot of it is free. And the funny thing, what I want you to educate, and Lon has a question he's been dying to ask as well, but let me interject one thing. A lot of our listeners that are Christian know that Jesus was a rabbi, okay, and heard the word Torah, but they don't know what a Torah is. And because you are the education rabbi, educate us on what the Torah is.
The Torah is the Bible. It's the will and wisdom of God. And Torah is the blueprint for our lives. It's a manual for our lives.
It's an operating manual, like I get one from my
Correct.
computer,
Or in your
Exactly.
automobile.
or my automobile
From
owner's
Alpine.
manual. Okay, from
So now in our personal lives, we also need an operating manual. And when we study the Torah, it's actually fascinating because we connect to the divine. And we connect to the giver of the Torah, which is God Almighty himself. And I believe that's why so many people are actually, today, you look around in the Jewish world, and you see in a sense there is an awakening. There are many people who are connecting and seeking, looking for depth, looking for meaning in their lives,
Right.
looking for answers to the questions, and they're
And
turning to the Torah.
And guidance, yes.
Exactly, and for
Yes.
guidance. And that's why so many people are coming out. And that's how we find so many people are actually looking for an authentic message. The Torah is not just a storybook. The Torah is not a book of do's and don'ts. But the Torah actually, the word Torah in Hebrew, fascinating, actually means lesson. Torah comes from the Hebrew word of hora'ah, which means lesson. So the Torah is a practical guide for our day-to-day life.
You know, that's something that we miss. I know I go to the Bible when I have a decision in my life, and I pray about it as well. And sometimes God answers us no, Rabbi. I know we're God's children, and sometimes no is always in our betterment. And I know Lon has a great story about his house when he wanted a house that he had his heart set on and didn't get it. And then God gave him even a better house with a swimming pool.
He does.
With
He
a
knows
pool.
best. Father knows
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, but we're going to have to take a quick break, and we're going to come back. Lon has a question that he's going to speak with you, Rabbi. You're listening to Community News and Review, and we're recorded live here at Alpine Jaguar. And I love the expression of people. Rabbi has not been here before. He walks in, he goes, wow.
Yes.
You know, and that says a lot to me. And we're going to be right back. Hey, we are back. We're at Alpine Jaguar. You see it from Cypress Creek in 95. And on Wednesday, if you're driving by, just honk and flash your lights so we know that you're listening, but watch the guy in front of you. You know, be
Yes.
careful out there.
Careful.
Rabbi, as we're
Yes.
continuing, and we talked about Anne Frank, and I did want to make an honorable mention and regarding a great story that reached our desk last week. And this was regarding a gentleman who, my goodness, in 1939, when he left Prague, one day before the Nazi Germany invaded the Czech areas, He actually helped 600 plus children immigrate to England, helped them getting foster homes, all with himself. And nobody really knew what he did until 50 years later when his wife happened to find some information. He recently passed away last week at the
I think
age
it's an
of
amazing,
106.
amazing story. And one of
Yeah.
the most amazing things about the story is, like you say, nobody knew about this. For 50 years, he kept it quiet. In the article, it mentions that 50 years later, his wife found some documents
Right.
and began digging up the story. And only then, that's when he began talking. It's a story of selfless act of leadership, of someone who seized the opportunity of the moment to save countless individuals, so many lives. And I think to myself, today's day and age, we look around where everything is about the recognition and the honor and the prestige, which I may get out of it.
Right.
And this gives us a wake-up call, of a true leader, a true individual who, what a wonderful, how many lives he saved, countless families.
He was
thanks
the
to
English
his
version of Schindler.
Schindler, that's
Yes.
correct.
He
yes.
absolutely was.
Yeah, and it really teaches us that the Rebbe, who is a leader of the Chabad movement, actually, his yahrzeit, the anniversary of his passing, we just 21 years since he passed on, we just commemorated the anniversary of his passing 2 weeks ago. Very often, would always encourage and teach that every small deed, every small act counts. And he would often quote the teaching of the famous Jewish sage Maimonides, known as the Rambam. One should always view themselves and the entire world as equal. You do one act, that could be the act to tip the scale and to bring goodness and salvation to the entire world. And you never know the impact you can have on another individual, another person. It could be something small, smiling to a neighbor, to a friend, and you can really uplift their spirit. You can ignite a soul and make the entire difference to the whole world. And the Rebbe always encouraged and always said that every living thing must grow. As human beings, we take care of our bodies. We eat, we sleep, we exercise, we keep a healthy diet. We're supposed to.
Supposed to.
Just as we take care of our body, we should also take care of our souls.
Right.
And it's important to study, stimulate your mind intellectually, delve in the Torah, and continue growing. No matter how much you've done yesterday, that was good for yesterday. Today,
Is it right to call the Torah the Old Testament or no?
the Torah is the Jewish Bible.
Right. So is that correct to
The Jewish Bible.
say
The
this,
Torah
huh?
is the Jewish Bible. Yes. Today is a new day with new opportunities, new horizons, new challenges, and a new calling. And every day we have to continuously grow and do more. No matter how successful we were yesterday, no matter what level we've attained,
Right.
today is a new day. And I find this so amazing, given that we are situated in East Fort Lauderdale, and many of you maybe remember that not too long ago, there was a sign on the beach
Right.
which said, "No dogs and Jews allowed."
Yes.
on
And
Fort
probably you
Lauderdale
could even add
Beach.
blacks to that too back then.
And today, we
Yeah.
can proudly say that we have a vibrant Jewish center, an active center, where many people come to practice and to pray and to study. And really, that's what Judaism is all about. And this is my message. Judaism is not just about attending
Rules.
on high holidays,
Right.
coming once a year, but really,
Commitment.
Judaism is a positive, happy, uplift, upbeat experience.
Well,
Give
Rabbi,
yourself-
on that note, we really do have to get going, but I could say one thing. Having experienced you and your congregation, there was such love, such friendship. People took my hand and introduced themselves and wanted to truly, sincerely know who I am and my name, and were very welcoming from all ages. You have, listen, at your congregation, you have multimillionaires and you have people that work a couple jobs.
Maybe you can
And they're
introduce me to them.
Well, they're sitting next to each other. You know what I'm saying? You have people from all walks of life. All is welcome.
Chabad is truly a non-judgmental
Yeah.
environment. Everyone is welcome, regardless of
Right.
background, affiliation, or level of observance. Everyone is welcome and made to feel just as made to feel at home.
Amen. But I certainly want to invite you back on. But I know our listeners would like to get more information, and I encourage them to check this out. There's always something going on, and it's not always by works by donation. So, what is the best way to contact your center?
Yes, we have a website which is www.jewishlauderdale.com. Again, that's www.jewishlauderdale.com. Feel free to contact me directly at my personal email, which is rabbi@jewishlauderdale.com. Again, that's rabbi@jewishlauderdale.com. You can subscribe on our website to our weekly emails, which keeps you informed of the latest programs and events happening in our community. Our telephone number is 954-607-1104. Again, that's 954-607-1104.
1104. That's very easy. Rabbi, I'd like you to come back and do some inspirational. I'll give you 5 minutes, 5 minutes by yourself to give an inspiration because you
Thank you.
motivated me.
I look forward to that.
I appreciate you coming on. And you're listening to Community News and Review. I'm Phil Bell along with
Lon Smith.
And we
Thank you
got to
for
take a
having me.
break. We appreciate it again. And we're got to take a quick break. And we're going to be coming back speaking with Alan Koppelman. And you got to hear this regarding how apps really has revolutionized how we do our day-to-day lives. And you got a show, so it's kind of like a dinner and a show. Apps have revolutionized the way people are getting information, conducting business every day. And even from going to which restaurants and so forth. They have called geo-targeting. If you're driving around, you got a taste for ribs, you just ask your app finder, your smartphone, it'll find it for you. But getting more education about apps is what this segment is all about. And we have a leading app developer and producer. And I'd like to first of all say good evening to Alan Koppelman. Alan, good evening.
Good evening, Phil.
And I appreciate you taking the time coming here to Alpine Jaguar. I know it's such a drive from your office.
We're actually right down the street.
I know, couldn't resist. But Alan, one of the reasons why I invited you to speak today is because it used to be, in order to be successful, you had to have a website. And the cornerstone, again, of any thriving business is communication or even organization. And apps are it. Now, I believe firmly that apps eventually will take over anything that's websites. My computer, my new laptop is app-friendly.
Well, that's been very popular now, especially with tablets are becoming the new computer. And, I was watching a program the other day, and they were talking about the first screen, the second screen, and the third screen. And it used to be that the TV was the first screen, the computer was the second screen, and the third screen was starting to be the cell phone. But now the cell phone is actually becoming the first screen that people look at, and that's becoming, more important to market using the telephone with mobile apps and push notifications.
Well, that's just it. NPS apps started out of inspiration from you, and really has taken off. And no company, large or small, is not a candidate to work with you. Beginning companies, because they do grow to become large companies, but even existing companies do need what your service has to offer. But what are the nuts and bolts of an app? I mean, do I give you the ideas of what I want, or do I show you my website? How do you actually begin?
Well, how we begin is we usually look at the customer's website, their logo, their branding, and their colors. And then we sit with them and we want to find out what they're trying to accomplish. Are they trying to create awareness for their nonprofit? Are they trying to create awareness about their events?
Mm-hmm.
And, we set them up so they can do push notifications, so they can do geofencing, geo-targeted marketing. When people walk inside a store, you can actually send them a message to their phone. They can get a coupon, a discount, literally driving into the parking lot. You can control all your digital content that you're sending out to your customers. And apps are also going to replace all these little tags people have on their keychains. You have all these tags on your keychains, all these loyalty cards in your wallet. You don't need to have that.
That's right.
This can all go into your telephone and be in an app. So just like you have your favorite places you shop and eat in your wallet and on your keychain. You can now get that and put it in your phone.
So, like, or even organizations, like even the rabbi, we met because of a minion, and he needed one other guy. I guess he looked at me and said, "You'll do." But he could do a push notification. He could just go to boom to the congregation. Hey, I need 2 more.
As long as it's before Shabbat.
So
Right.
That is true. That is true. But so it's universal use of the product. It's not just for businesses to
No,
to
we've
drive
made
traffic, but
apps for nonprofits.
profits.
We've made apps for hotels, golf courses, restaurants, nightclubs. It doesn't matter. We're right now. We're making a lot of health related apps because people want to find out where the doctor's offices are, where to get care.
But here's the
different
thing.
things.
There's an article, and we talked about this. I don't know if you had a chance to find. I sent you one article.
Yes,
I found
I
a
talked
couple
about
others.
that. The pizza place.
The pizza place. And let me tell you something. They're the ones who need you the most, but they're the ones that don't understand why they need you the most, and they're the ones who are losing business. And now let me count their ways. There's Domino's. There's Pizza Hut. You want me to keep going on? I mean, I can name all the deliverable organizations out there that are on top of it, that because of the technology has increased, and mom and pop that has an excellent pizza are sitting there wondering, what happened to our business?
Yeah, well, it comes down to a lot of people think that apps cost $10, $20, $30,000.
They don't?
No, we can actually produce an app for anywhere from $2,500 and up.
Really?
That can
Now,
accomplish.
you know this is being recorded, being
Yes.
broadcast to hopefully millions across the United States on iHeart. But in all reality, we got you on record. Are you serious?
Documented.
That's very inexpensive from what I understand.
Well, we're able to do that because we build it on a platform, and yes, we can do a lot of customization, but we don't. Because we use a platform to build the apps on, we control the content, and we have a lot of different things built into that, especially for restaurants where we can do reservations through the app. We
Right.
can link to their food ordering through the app, link their delivery through the app, so they can have a presence just as big as Domino's in the App Store.
Well,
And
the cool thing is I rented a car 2 weeks ago from Enterprise. I'm not plugging them. They're not a sponsor. And I never spoke to anybody. It was all done through my phone on an app.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool was that? That really was.
And that's there's a certain segment of the population that wants to do business like that. They don't care. They want to go to their computer or go to their app and then conduct their business.
What does the merchant do to get on? You fix a platform, and then how is he informed? I only caught a little bit of what you're saying technically. Cars passing out in front of him on the highway.
Right.
Okay. Will an app direct that car in any way?
Well, yeah. Well, what the merchant has to do is they have to get their customers to download the app. Once their customers have the app in their phone, then they're able to market to them through push notifications and through geofencing. So, they have to offer a good value proposition the same way. Why do you want to have that tag on your keychain? Why do you want to have that card in your wallet? Why do you want to have that app in your phone? So if you're going to get discounts and special offers and know about sales for the for that particular business, and that's a place that you like to go, you're going to have that app on your phone so that you can get that digital information.
Well,
Far better than texting.
Right, because with texting, it gets lost in all your text
Yes.
messages.
Oh.
This is going
Yeah.
in specifically into your app.
In terms of newer apps that are out there, I like using them to help find stuff for me to do, whether it's with my family or sports or music related. And I understand that you have something that's totally cool, and I can't wait to download it. I have not done it. I think it's just that new that's newly released, right?
Yes, we just released this about 5 weeks ago called SoFla Events. And the reason why we
And SoFla is SOFLA,
LA
SoFla Events for South Florida Events.
Right.
I like that.
And the reason we created is we're sitting around the office and we're like, how can we organize ourselves to go to more networking events and know where all the networking events are and figure out how to schedule this so you can go out and network. So we sat down And then we figured out and we created calendars inside of the app. So we have calendars set up: Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, and then they're set up for business and social. So you can see business events, social events, and then there's nonprofit events, charitable events, fundraisers, webinars, job fairs, anything you can think about that's business related or social related, so you can go out and figure out what to do. Even for 4th of July, there's tons of events in there.
Oh, yeah.
Telling you where all the events are going on this weekend for 4th of July.
Well, interesting enough, Alpine Jaguar is known to support and help a host of community events. And a matter of fact, on a golf outing, they're donating a Jaguar 3-year lease. Now, you can see how beautiful these cars are. 3 years, no strings attached. But the only string is you have to shoot a hole-in-one on a par 3.
Wow.
But you do that, you walk away not just with a great story, but a great car.
It might work if the rabbi was standing next to me.
That's true. Well, then I couldn't kick the ball into it, and that's a whole other story. You know, Alan, you do such great work. You did work for our programs, and I recommend you. As a matter of fact, I want to introduce you to one of the senior people within the bar, because they do need apps. Attorneys do need communication, because it'd be good if I had an app for my attorney and anything that I needed, whether it's tax issues, if it was personal injury, anything that I know where's going on with the case. I don't have to pick up the phone to call the attorney, call this paralegal. I just go to my app, what's going on with my case, and boom, updated as of this date. How cool would that be?
It would be cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can fix that up. We can create a contact form. You can just send them an email. Even you're out at dinner.
Sure.
Open up your app, send them a message, and in the morning they see your message, and then they can return your call, and they already know what you want. And they know what information they need to gather for you, and then they don't have to answer.
You don't even need people anymore.
Well, you need people still to do it, but
You need
It just-
there's
A few
still need
people,
for now. For
right,
now there
yeah.
is,
it
but
speeds the process up and makes it more efficient.
that is true.
Super.
Now the event app is already up, and that's again SOFLA events, and no spaces. You just go into Apple or
Google Play.
or Android store.
Right.
You just type in SOFLA events, and it comes right up.
Yep, download the app. It's free. And
Yep.
You'll find hundreds and hundreds of events in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County.
Well, I know the rabbi's still here, and I know he's been listening to you, and he's interested. He's very dynamic, always progressive. Communication with the rabbi, with his congregation is phenomenal. How can he call you to find out the information? What's the best way to contact you before
He
we
can
take
give me
our
a
break?
call at the office, 954-368-1640.
Yep.
And that's my office number. Again, 954-368-1640.
Very good. And you're usually easy to get to, but you have very competent people. You know, you really do. I
Well,
met your staff.
I can tell you that since the last time you've been
Yep.
to my office, we went in 2015 from 2.5 employees to 7 employees. We are experiencing unbelievable growth.
It's because you do good work and you care about your clients.
And the
sincerely.
number of apps that we
Yeah.
are producing right now.
Very good. Well, you know, Alan, you're going to be coming back on, and hopefully you could be offering something to our listeners to even maybe try an app. But unfortunately, we do have to take a quick station identification. Alan Kopelman from NPS Apps, we appreciate you coming on. Stay here, okay, till
All right,
the end of the
thank
show.
you.
You're listening to Community News and Review, and we're recorded live at Alpine Jaguar, a fantastic place to be at. And I encourage our listeners to come on by. They'll make them buy more food, and then they'll have to sell more cars. But it's great here. You're listening to Community News and Review on 1230 WBZT, and we're going to be coming right back. Oh, yeah, we are back at Alpine Jaguar. Community News and Review. We've been here for a couple months. See, they feed us long and they can't get rid of us.
Oh, I tell you, we're going to stay as long as the food's there.
You know, it's such a privilege and pleasure to work with you because you always make me laugh, sincerely. I
Well,
mean,
thank you very much.
you know, on the phone right now from Best Tech Brands, we have a real pioneer, somebody who I consider not only a good friend, but a mentor. He is so dynamic. He gets up in the morning and he doesn't stop until well after the sun goes down. And that's why he's successful. People know of him now by his former product line, which was Slick 50.
Yes.
One of the best-selling products that eventually himself and his partnership sold to Quaker State for $150 million because the product worked. Well, you know, Jim, he can't keep himself still. found the technology that makes these little ball bearings, little carbon spheres that help protect the engine. And in turn, the side effect is better gas mileage, lower CO2 emissions, longer life cycle. And we've been following this product development for quite some time. And Jim Scott from Best Tech Brands, I'd like to say good evening.
Good evening, Phil. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. And Jim, just like all great states of Texas, you're in Texas right now. But where are you in Texas?
Absolutely. Pardon?
Where are you located in Texas?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas.
World capital of the world.
Yeah, yep. Just one of those little places, you know. I love Texas.
Yep.
You know, little things are big everywhere else. Jim, we're going to be working on getting the product tested and testing, you know, from areas here like within Alpine Jaguar and other cars and also now marinas. It's one of the things I wanted to share with you. I got a call from a marina, and they're interested in finding out more about the product because we've been pushing on the fact that it's any engines. It's not just for automobiles, although that's what your bread and butter is, but also it's for marine engines. It's for engines that produce electricity, like at FP&L as an example. Anything that's an engine
Correct.
motor, right?
Correct, yes. We're running a huge test in South America right now with one of the major independent energy generation companies in Chile, and we should have some exciting news to report on that in a very short period of time.
Well, it's amazing how this is catching on like wildfire. As a matter of fact, you're starting to really launch the product. You've been doing with my show kind of like a soft launch in terms of getting the information out there and the branding, but you're going to be out there in a big way with television, radio spots, and as well as in print. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, your broadcast is going to be one of the very first introductions of our radio campaign that will hit the airwaves.
Oh, man.
Let it rip.
We love it.
But I hope to have those to you next week.
Well, let me tell you, I can't wait. And and sincerely, I know how creative you are, and I also know of the team behind you. You stand on many shoulders. You always work with the best of the best. I mean, that's a sign of any good manager. You surround themselves with better people than yourself. You know, Jim, it's funny. You know, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. You know what I mean? You always want to have better people than you. But here's a fast fact. Yep.
I got to share a story with you.
Go ahead.
I was in New York years ago. We were working on raising some money on an acquisition, and the investment banker that we were talking with looked at me and he said, "What was the one thing that you did that made Slick 50 so successful?" And I looked at him and I said, "There was no one thing." I said, "We had the best talent in finance, operations, logistics, R&D, finance, marketing,
Right.
sales. That's the one thing that we did. We executed them flawlessly."
And that's the whole thing. Again, you didn't just go in this as a, you know, this is not a garage project. Well, with some of the famous best products they have been in garage, because of your background, ability, and knowing the right people from the lead chemist to even having the product certified by the wonderful testing that Ed Ponegay did, you know, from Lotus Engineering. And what was the name of the other organization he's affiliated with, Jim? Lotus Engineering.
Ed Ponegay was the head of R&D for Ford Motor Company for over 25 years.
Right. But the testing company that he heads up, I know it's Lotus Engineering. I cannot remember the.
Yeah, so Lotus Engineering is the facility that we did the testing in.
Right. Okay, I'm correct. You know, here's a fact that Jim taught me this when we first started working. This is what this type of products mean. Listen up. I mean, this is important. 12% increase in fuel economy for cars, trucks, buses here in America. That displaces 630 million barrels of oil. And that's more than we import from Saudi Arabia. And let's face it, those people in that area hates us, and we've been paying them well too long. So if we become more self-sufficient, we won't have to be, let's just say, under their heel, if you will. They won't have as much of an influence on our economy. But Jim, within your product and distribution and so forth, the product is still 100% American made. So don't make me hang up on you and tell me that it's not, because if it's not, I'm going to hang up on you.
Absolutely, it's made right here in Houston, Texas, and we ship it around the world, and we take their money.
Sounds like Bobby and JR.
Everyone's laughing. Yeah, that's right. Everyone's
That's right.
laughing. But that's the thing. You're a very humble man, Jim. For our audience, for a little pat on your back, because this is coming off of 4th of July weekend. This is broadcast Wednesday afterwards. Jim is a U.S. veteran. He's a veteran from Vietnam. Unfortunately, he's also been a victim of the Agent Orange, the disfoliation stuff.
Yes.
But he didn't stop. That didn't stop him from going on with life and making him successful. But, on behalf of all of us Americans, I say this to all veterans, God bless you, Jim. People like yourself give us the opportunity to do with what I'm doing and others.
Well, it's a blessing to have survived that, and I want to say thanks to all of our comrades in arms that from every generation, from World War I to the survivors that are left of Korea, Vietnam, the Middle East. We have a nation of volunteers that have stood up, accepted the responsibility, and served the country when called.
Amen. And I think we should celebrate America every day. We are still. Now, we're not perfect. We don't claim to be perfect. We cannot be perfect. The only thing perfect I understand in life is God, and we're certainly not God. But I can tell you this, we are the best country in the whole world. Seriously.
Yes,
That's
we
why
are.
everyone wants to come
Freedom.
here.
So
Now, granted, Italy may have better tomatoes than we do. And,
but I don't like them stepping on them.
But, Jim, when it comes to your product itself right now, currently, you will be getting it into the big box stores, but you're releasing it right now through these different venues. And that also will include direct response television, possibly even the home shopping network, advertisements in the magazines, and, of course, on radio and so forth. But the websites and internet has really changed how people do business as well. And your product is once it's ordered, is shipped out within 3 days. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
And
We try to turn them around in 24 hours, but a minimum guarantee is within 3 days we have shipped any order that comes in out the door.
that is a beautiful
That's a good
thing.
turnaround.
That is. And especially because when you need your product, you do need it. And it's cool about your product that you have now in different packages. I like your product. I am going to be getting the year's worth, which is, why don't you tell our audience about that package you have for a year's worth of oil changes. Listen to this. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, what we're offering is if you buy the package of a year's oil change, we will throw in two additional orders.
Yep.
Because every household has, on average, more than one car in the family. And there's usually, if there's teenagers involved, and you have kids going back to school this fall, you want to have those cars in the best operating condition possible.
That's right.
And the best way to do that is protect that engine, lubricate it the absolute best you possibly can with Synergen engine treatment, and extend the life of that engine while you're generating fuel economy benefits that will save them operating money, put more money in their pocket. You don't want to ask where they spend it, but they'll have more disposable dollars to buy fuel and other necessities. So that's what we're about.
Well, let me tell you, the best way to find this product, you could do it a couple ways. Jim and I are going to tag team it. Okay, Jim, you ready? You could go to WBZT, WBZ as in zebra, WBZT 1230, WBZT.com or WBZT.com, and click on Wednesday's programming. You'll see Community News and Review. Then you could click on there, and guess what you're going to see? You're going to see Best Tech Brands, the Synergen logo. Click on there. It's going to take you right to their website. But if that's a little too complicated to go to the station's website, you could even go directly to their website. And, Jim, what is the best website to actually buy these products?
The best website address is www.synergen, that's SYNERGYN.com.
Very good.
And we have a excellent free oil change promotion going right now. So please take a look at it and take advantage of the fact
That's a great
we want you
promotion.
to try our product, and we're going to pay for the oil change
That's
for
right.
you to try it.
That's right. I'm sorry for interrupting you because I'm excited about that because I'm going to take advantage of that. Let me tell you, they're going to pay for the oil changes. Try it. You're going to like it. It worked for Phil Bell. I got better gas mileage. I know that I have better pickup and go. But also, I believe you, Jim, because of all the test facts. It's like a small book you sent to me regarding the lower greenhouse gases because you have it all proved here, black and white. And the wear and tear of the car. I can't wait. I wish I had that for my car many years ago when I had my Camaro. You know, Jim, we appreciate you coming on, but I want you to stay tuned. Coming up, we're going to be having Damian Polgar from Alpine Jaguar. We're going to have like a little roundtable closing here. And you're listening to Community News and Review. It's produced and live to tape at Alpine Jaguar, and we're going to be right back. Yeah, hi. You know, we're here at Alpine Jaguar, and everyone that comes here, and when a rabbi that walks in here, you know, very calm man, he looks at this place and goes, wow.
That's a good sign.
That is.
That's a good sign. You have a
That is.
rabbi walk in and all is well.
Thought he was in heaven.
You know, he puts his stamp of approval on the place. You know you're in good hands.
This is true. It's funny you were saying that.
There you go.
We have the making of a joke. You know, we have a rabbi,
A Catholic guy, and they walk into a car dealer. What's next?
Yeah.
Have
But
them put a mezuzah on a couple cars.
Absolutely.
Right.
But you know,
Mitzvah car, mitzvah tank.
yeah, it's really truly a privilege to be here, and you know, Alpine Jaguar does so much, and they do so much behind the scenes as well. You have a golf tournament where you're giving away a car.
Yep.
You know, and I joke with people. I said, "Hey, they're giving away Jaguar. You know, I work with them, and they're giving away a car. Really? How do I get that?"
Yeah, you got to show up the golf tournament. Got to play.
That's right.
You know, bring your A game.
Actually, one of your counterparts here has been here for 27 years. I cannot remember.
Larry.
Larry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Phenomenal
Larry.
man.
Larry said he's the judge. He's there to keep the eye.
Yeah, he babysits the hole and it keeps people honest.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we do a lot of golf, a lot of charity golf, and we give away a lot of those. We put a lot of those holes in ones in places, you know, and
Right.
and every so often, it's too long of a par 3. I'm like, we're giving away a car. I'm like, really? We're not giving away a lunch here. It's a car. You know, you got to be able to make it a little challenging.
Well, I wish, sincerely, I wish it wasn't being watched so much because I'm very well known to take another shot, if you will. I've had 2 hole-in-ones in my life.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's a rare thing.
Yeah, but one of them I was alone, and I'm telling everybody the truth. The other one I was with a foursome, so I have proof on that.
We had one last year. It was for one of the alternate prizes. I think he won like a golf vacation, but he won over at Broken Sound in Boca.
Wow.
And
Oh.
I literally like there was it was 2 holes behind us. I don't know if you lay out the boat, but I could hear the yelling 2 holes away.
Wow.
When the guy sank the par 3.
That's amazing. You know something? Will you join us for the Legal News and Review program?
That's what I'm here for.
Great. It's
I
going
am
to
on the job.
Oh, it's going to be a great program. Wait till you hear. But you're listening to Community News and Review, and I want to first of all thank Rabbi Singer. Rabbi Singer, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you. You're
Well,
welcome.
I would like you to come back and do some inspirational from time to time. I think that truly you're a great leader and very compassionate and has made a difference in the community. And Alan Kopelman, what can I say? It's been too long. It was hard to get your attention once you saw these cars here. It's like, Alan, over here, come on. He said, just a minute. You were looking at the cars, but you're really dedicated to your firm that's been growing now, building these apps. And I'm very pleased to say that you're probably one of, if not the fastest companies producing apps down here in South Florida. And quite frankly, I like working with somebody local because if I get upset, I could reach out and strangle you. And, of course, Lon, it's been a privilege and pleasure working with you.
Always.
And
always.
Damian Polgar, I want to give you your own show. You make us laugh out loud.
Someone's got to do it, Phil.
I could do I could do the whole show really just on the outtakes from you.
If I knew Rabbi was showing up, I would have done some pre-production work writing for you. If I knew he was coming.
Yep. And we are filming, and we're going to continue to film, and we're going to be putting together several interesting pieces, so you can see the craziness here, the beautiful cars and the people. Although we have great faces for.
It's crazy over here at Jaguar. You know us.
Yeah, it
we
is.
walk that fine line over here.
You guys
It'll
are
be
a good
shown at
time.
your local theaters real soon. what we're videotaping
Oh, we're
today.
videotaping. Yeah,
Is
no, it's going to be on
at
the
your local
yeah.
theater with popcorn.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
in the fall, we've got the new movie coming out.
That's right.
Mm.
Well, you got the James Bond movie.
That's coming out, yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
You know, every time I look at these cars, that's the music I hear. Well, you've been listening to Community News and Review, and it is produced and been live to tape here at Alpine Jaguar. Truly a destination. Everyone who comes in here, everyone, Damien, always says, wow, seriously.
It's a nice space.
It really is. And tune in next week. We have some outrageous segments, including we have the artist Peter Max coming on. And I'm very pleased to say, and a couple other surprises. Be listening to the announcements. I am Philip Bell, and
Lon Smith.
we'll see you next week on the radio.